On today's show, how did the Mavericks get here? How did they get back to the Western Conference Finals? I've got the perfect guy to talk about it. It's Isaac Harris here on Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network, where we, let it ride. Thanks for being part of the show, making Locked On Mavs your first listen today, where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day on any podcast platform. Like the video on YouTube, leave a comment below on YouTube as well. Let me know what questions you have about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use that code, all lowercase, LockedOnNBA, for a first deposit match up to $100. And joining me, as always, writer, podcast host over at Studio 41, Mavs.com, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I was gonna say, I don't even write that much anymore. I write video essays.
That's what your title used to be. So
I know. I did drop an episode today. Now that you mentioned it, welcome to Mavs Land.
Glad I mentioned that.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. If you want a preview of the series, I dropped a show today.
Go over to that little mom and pop YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers over on the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, do that. My show comes out every Monday, so talked about all that. But
yeah, if for those of you wondering, yes, this is why he left me.
I got asked that again the other night in a post game stream, and I was laughing about it. But 2 years ago, we were boarding a plane together.
Exactly 2 years ago,
to go to San Francisco.
Yeah,
to watch the Mavs lose to the Warriors. But we had a lot of fun and went to Alcatraz and
we did.
All this stuff. Took some prison pics and
we did.
Had a lot of fun. But now we're back in the conference finals. Second time in 3 years. This is insane. This is a regular thing now.
The middle year doesn't matter, but second time in 3 years that the Mavs make the Western Conference Finals. And like Isaac said, exactly 2 years ago, the Mavs made the Western Conference, or were going to the Western Conference Finals. The May 19th, we were boarding the plane to go to San Francisco, which was wild to me. But today, we're going to talk about the reasons why the Mavericks are here again. We'll talk a little bit about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'll have an episode later previewing that series a little bit. Isaac will do it on Mavs Land as well if you want to go check out that. That is not affiliated with us. Isaac left me for that. I just want everyone to know. But but we want to talk about the reasons why the Mavericks are here. And so let's just go through. Let's talk about the reasons why the Mavericks are here. And we talked about Luka a lot yesterday on the show. Thanks to everybody who checked in on the three-man weave of me and Slightly and Reggie in person at the AAC, just having the most fun that we could have on a post-game episode. We talked about Luka a lot yesterday. I'm going to start with somebody different. PJ Washington. The legend is rising of PJ Washington. 17.7 points a game, 8.3 rebounds a game in the Thunder series. And his scoring got unlocked in a couple of games. When the Mavs and when the Mavs had Luka and Kyrie getting completely blitzed and completely doubled at times, PJ was the one that kind of unlocked the scoring, and he was the one that sort of was the release valve in a way in the first couple of wins there in game 2 and in game 3. He also hit the final 2 free throws to give the Mavs the win in game 6, which was also wild. And I think just on the offensive side, he was a big, huge lift for the Mavericks. And that's not even considering the defense.
It's kind of ironic that you look at the Mavericks lost one of those games in the series because they missed their free throws, and they won the series. They closed out the series on a missed free throw.
On a foul by SGA of all people.
Yeah, but PJ knocks down those first 2 free throws, and then what a brilliant move from the coaching staff. Him, and he missed it on purpose perfectly. Yeah. There was only 2 seconds left, but it was just funny that we've been talking all about free throws, and then bam, they win the closeout game by missing a free throw on purpose. But no, I mean, what PJ did, he's becoming like this icon. Like when you talk about role players in Dallas, in history. And it's like these role players kind of like elevate themselves to these like status of, all right, are you getting a statue next to Madonna? And this is, PJ Washington now that, the standing on business, the Clippers stuff, it's not just the energy and the standing on business, but he's backing up with his play. You talked about him in, this series, and PJ Washington averaged more points than Kyrie this series. Like, I say this series against the OKC series. And it's like, if you would have said that going through the series, you're like, all right, probably not winning the series, right? And they won in 6 games against the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So what he's doing on the defensive side, what he's doing offensively, and even the free throw stuff the other night. I mean, he had 0 points going to the fourth quarter, and he hits those 2 massive clutch threes at the end of the game. And then the huge clutch free throws. I'm happy for him, not just the team, but happy for him.
He's never been in the playoffs before. He's played in a couple play-in games with the Hornets where they got destroyed, and he really wanted to make the playoffs. He really wanted to be there, and it was awesome to see. He's the hometown kid. His dad is there on the sidelines watching all of his warm-ups, wearing his jersey and all out there and everything. And what an amazing moment for him to
tough look for John Hollinger. Tough look.
Tough one for our boy John, for our guy John, former Locked On colleague of ours.
I was gonna say, is he still on the network? Sorry,
no, not anymore. For takes like that, he got removed from Locked On.
Is Matt Moore doing okay right now?
No, probably not.
Yeah, Luka.
Neither is Swipa.
Is Jokic impact winning?
But PJ Washington, huge, absolutely massive in this series. The scoring on the defensive end. Man, I think he makes the defense work. They tried this same kind of defense, and we know that they've tried the same kind of defense. You and I talked about this defense for every single day for probably the last 2 years, especially last year when they didn't have a guy like that. And even the beginning of this season when they tried to put Grant Williams in that same kind of role, and it just did not work. The defense did not work. And as soon as you get PJ and you add Gafford to that, and Lively obviously helps it too, but PJ, I think, makes this defense work and makes this scheme work. And I think that having him, his versatility, the way that he can switch on anybody, hold his own against anybody. There were a lot of people, including smart NBA people, that didn't think that PJ Washington was a good defender, and they've been proven completely wrong because his defense really, really stood out in a big way in this series.
You look at what Nico did with the PJ Washington move. He makes the signing of Grant Williams this past offseason, and a lot of us, both of us, were like, hey, we're fans of that move on paper. It looked like a great signing, just didn't work out. But for Nico to look at that signing and to look at a move that he made and say, all right, I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down on trying to improve this position. All right. I'm going to take another swing at it. I'm going to take that contract that I signed him to. I'm going to add a first-round pick to it and the guy that we gave the biennial exception to that you can't hand out every year. And we're going to trade for a PJ Washington who's never been to the playoffs before and bet that this guy is going to step into our system around our stars and be maximized to his fullest potential. And what a bet that's paying off. Not Jonte Porter, but like what a bet that's paying off for Nico. That, I mean, look at the level that PJ, I mean, what's doing for his career. I mean, imagine if PJ Washington was a free agent at the end of the season.
Yeah.
What number would, I mean, we're talking about Derrick Jones Jr. a lot, what money he's going to get this offseason. What would PJ Washington get on the open market this summer if he was a free agent? That, I'm glad he's, under contract for a bit.
Yeah, I'm very glad he is too. Which also means that the Mavs have some control over this core. I mean, this is not like a one and done situation where it's like, all right, go in and win this or bust basically. But PJ, the other thing that I think really matters with PJ Washington is something that some people don't think that matters a lot in games, but I think that this matters a lot, and especially matters for this Mavericks team, and that's rebounds. And PJ got a bunch of he got a bunch of rebounds in this series. He got 10 in game 5. He got 12 in game 4. He got 11 in game 2. I mean, he just was grabbing boards and finishing plays. And I thought that he got up and got a bunch of contested ones too, which I think really, really matter. And just rebounding matters in general. Your thoughts on rebounding?
I've tried to say the rebounds matter all the time. You've pushed back on that over the years that rebounds matter a lot. So I'm glad that you've came to that realization that rebounds matter.
Oh,
and they're going to really matter against Minnesota.
Yeah, they will.
It's going to be tough.
That's a different one. Isaac, if you haven't not listened to the show, Isaac, for the 2022 team, rebounds did not matter as much. and lots of people disagreed with us.
I'm not telling the story again. We played Rudy Gobert, and there's a lot of people, a lot of old heads. They're like, they're not going to have a shot in this series if they can't rebound with Rudy. It's like, actually, they will have a shot in this series. So
completely different team. But coming up, let's talk about the other reasons why the Mavs are in this position right now. How did they get where they are in the Western Conference Finals? Again, let's talk about that coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is a place where you can get straight to the point. You want to grow your portfolio to deal with the rising cost of inflation. You want to pay off your debt, your mortgage, pretty much anything standing in the way of your financial freedom. You want those things. You want to take control of your financial investments, your financial freedom. With Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools that you need in order to reach that financial freedom. So go to Yahoo Finance. With more than 25 years, they have been the brand behind every great investor that you've been on. I like to check it out for some of the info on what kind of savings accounts to use, what kind of investments to make, things like that. You can get all kinds of different guidance there, because if you're a seasoned investor or you're just looking for like a couple of tips here and there, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need all in one place. Securely link your brokerage accounts and all that kind of stuff. Check it out. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor. It's yahoofinance.com, the number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. Also, want to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com. You pick 2 to 6 players and more or less on their projections of their stats. So you can pick points, you can pick rebounds, assists, points plus rebounds plus assists if you want to do that too. All kinds of different things on there. They have NBA, WNBA, they have baseball if you want to do the Rangers. If you're going to a game and you want it to be just a little bit more fun, go ahead and play Prize Picks. See what they have. They already have some stuff here for the NBA. They don't have any Mavs stuff up yet. They have Al Horford. This is a random one. Game 1 against the Pacers, 9.5 points. Give me more for Al. Give me more for old Al. Tyrese Halliburton, 19.5 points. I'll take less on Tyrese. Jason Tatum, 29.5 now. Definitely less on that one. Put down $20. I can win 100. Let's add TJ McConnell, more than 9.5 points against the Celtics. That goes all the way up to put down 20. You win 200. Check out Prize Picks. Prize Picks daily fantasy made easy. Go check it out. prizepicks.com/lockedonnba.
My first shot, my first make.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. We appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. If you want to check out the Locked On Sports Dallas 24/7 stream, check it out on YouTube or the Amazon Fire TV app. Check that out. If you want to subscribe to Subtext, get extra content, get extra text, and ask me questions and things like that, subscribe to Subtext. Click the link in the description or text the number in the description wherever you're listening to this episode. All right, Isaac.
Can I add something about PJ?
Feels good to say that to actual Isaac.
Do you say that even when I'm not here? So another thing PJ did was guard on the perimeter. And, you look at a guy like Josh Giddey, his 3-point percentage this series, it was over 18%. Over 18, I was kind of surprised for Giddey. But, he struggled. And I'm really curious to see what happens kind of with their roster the rest of this offseason and all of that. But all right, what's the next question?
I was underwhelmed by Josh Giddey's performance. Definitely under.
Yeah, definitely under. But in this series, he finished over 18. So
sat there that whole ad breaking.
I was doing the YMCA. You didn't let dads do the ads. I'm like, what am I supposed to do this whole time? You took me off the screen.
We got one more. I'll let you do that. So another reason why the Mavs are in the Western Conference Finals again. Jason Kidd and team.
Are you gonna let me go? Or
yeah, you got some?
Yeah, you told me you're like 3 each. I'm like, am I just along for the ride just to listen to yours?
We haven't done this in a while, and I don't know if you were doing the homework still, or if you were like,
we did 2,000 episodes together. Come on.
Yeah, but you left to go spend more time with your family. I thought you were going to go spend more time with your family today.
I did, but you gave me an assignment. I did the assignment.
Isaac Harris, F them kids.
Go play with the Lego, kid.
All right, give me another reason why the Mavs are in the West Finals again.
Yeah, hold on. Nico Harrison deserves his flowers, man.
That's
Nico
right.
Harrison is one of the biggest reasons why the Mavericks are in the finals right now. And I just did this on my show today of like, hey, who does this Western Conference Finals run mean the most for? And I kind of like went, huh? What'd you say? Shut up. And I went through different people and I was like, I think it means the most for Nico Harrison. He's up for a contract extension, but you look at you look at a year ago. This was the roster that ended last season.
Oh my God. I'm not ready for this.
All right. This was the starters to end last season. Ntilikina, Frank Ntilikina, Theo Pinson,
I forgot about.
No, this is Davis Bertans, Jaden Hardy, Markieff Morris. Those were the starters. Then McKinley Wright, Justin Holiday just got eliminated.
Hey, he's playing the playoffs.
And AJ Lawson came off the bench. JaVale McGee, Dwight Powell, Christian Wood did not play. And then obviously they had Luka and Kyrie and Tim Hardaway, Maxey, Reggie, and Josh. You take that team a year ago and look even let's go a little bit before that. He makes the trade for Kyrie Irving. And I always reference that quote he had of the risk. And when he's asked about the risk of trading for Kyrie, and he said it was a bigger risk not to trade for Kyrie Irving. He makes the risk and makes the trade for Kyrie Irving. He makes the draft maneuvering to get Dereck Lively and you're going to be a playoff team and you're going to have this rookie big man and give him a ton of minutes. You make these signings and a Dante Exum. You signed Derrick Jones Jr. to a vet minimum, which he's on my list later on. And then you make the trades at the trade deadline for Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. You're attaching draft picks, and you're all banking on this all fitting together to make a long playoff run, and it's happening. So why is the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals? It's because Nico Harrison is a mastermind of like putting these pieces around Luka and Kyrie, betting on Luka and Kyrie being the supporting piece next to Luka. I mean, how much are we just hooking up the content to our veins of Luka and Kyrie post game the other night, of them on the court, them talking about each other in the post game presser? And it's like, dude, so many people out there thought that you guys would fail and wanted you guys to fail.
Definitely.
And they're just glowing about each other. I didn't think I would see Luka talk about another teammate like that for a long time. I thought it would be like later on in his career, and how he's talking about Kyrie. Like, So Nico Harrison, give him his flowers.
The clip of Luka fist bumping Kyrie's kid, like while Kyrie is holding him.
Yeah.
Great. What a great moment. It just encapsulates all of that. But yeah, the Nico Harrison angle of it is, the Mavs centers in the last time they went to the West Finals, I just was on Locked On NBA today with Jackson, and he asked me, what's the difference between that team and this team? I said, this team has centers. Dwight Powell started every game in the playoffs for the Mavs going to that Western Conference Finals. And Maxey played a big role. Obviously, he played more than Dwight did, but the Mavs
Christian Wood picked up his option the other day for $3 million.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know.
Could have been available probably.
Yeah.
And so, Nico Harrison deserves all the credit for revamping this roster. And when, a coach has a revamped roster that he believes in, I'm going to give Jason Kidd some credit for this team as well, because I think he can be a heck of a coach if he believes in the team and if he's locked in. He obviously is right now, but he got this team to buy in a couple different areas that you just look at and you go, man, they were without Maxey this whole series. And
does this hurt your soul to do this right now?
No. The Mavs are in the West Finals. It's fine.
That's true.
I don't have a vendetta against him. I just didn't think he was a good coach for a little while there. Then they became the number one defense in the NBA, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I could be wrong about that.
You did mention that he's got these two teams to get buy-in, and I think it's so important.
Huge.
Not just buy-in, but like both of these teams, this team and 2022 team, look at the difference in the rosters, and yet both of them have the immaculate vibes. The chemistry's off the charts. The guys love being around each other. Like, that is not a natural thing. And he has helped create that. For all the criticism that people want to give him about all the other stuff, he has created that buy-in and that culture with those guys, and those guys like him. And to create that with Kyrie too, and the buy-in with Kyrie and Luka and all of that, like in the defense, the shift in defense, and 2 conference finals in the West in 3 years. You gotta give him props for the accolades there.
Absolutely. He goes with Lively, who was a plus 71 in this series. Gafford was a minus 58. And so one way of playing was better than the other, obviously. I don't think that was the difference between how Lively and Gafford played. But Jason Kidd decided to close with Lively at times. And that really paid off, especially in Game 6. That was absolutely massive. And he played those guys the whole series because Maxey was missing. He didn't try to go small. He didn't try to do what this team is not good at. He didn't panic or anything like that. Tim Hardaway Jr. in Game 2, he stuck with Tim, and he got 17 points. He was one of the reasons why the Mavs won that first game. If they lose that game, it's down 0-2, and maybe the series is completely different. But he got Tim Hardaway Jr. to believe that he could get some minutes and be ready and all that stuff. Jaden Hardy in Game 5 played 15 minutes. In Game 6 played 11 minutes and made some plays that the Mavs absolutely needed. And he got buy-in with all those guys. Gafford, either starting, not closing, all that, just the buy-in in general, and especially the defensive scheme buy-in from the two stars, especially. Jason Kidd deserves credit. We're doing right now the leadership credit. We're giving credit to the front office and now the coaching staff.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I thought it was time for an ad break. Sorry.
The most honest man in podcasting.
I thought you were going into an ad break. Come on. I've never done this before.
Coming up, let's get into another reasons why the Mavs are in the position they're in right now. And I think Luka Doncic, I think he affects winning. Talk about that. Come on. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds and things that you can use to get in on the action. Isaac Harris.
I can't even talk about this.
You want to guess the spread for Game 1, Mavs Timberwolves?
No, I don't. No. Give me any other freaking ad.
So you complained about wanting to be part of that. Timberwolves -4. You usually get about 3 points if you're the home team. Boston is -9 against Indiana for a reference point there, but the Minnesota Timberwolves favored in that one. If you want to look at the series, the Mavs are +146 on FanDuel, and Minnesota is -180 on FanDuel. So Minnesota is coming in as the favorite according to FanDuel. So the Mavs are not favored for the second series in a row against a team that won 57 games, against a team with a really good defense. And so that's interesting. Go check it out, FanDuel.com. Again, check out FanDuel.com to see what's available. And you can also get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to look at the odds, include the $5 bet there, and get $150 in bonus bets at FanDuel.com/lockedon.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
All right, Isaac. Talking about reasons why the Mavericks are back in the position that they're in. We've given PJ Washington his credit. We've given the leadership with Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd their credit. I think Luka deserves even more credit because I think one of my keys throughout this whole thing was, can Luka just play a normal basketball game? Can Luka play a normal Luka game? They'll win. That's exactly what happened. Game 1, 19 points on 31% shooting, they lose. Game 4, 18 points on 30% shooting, they lose. The rest of them, 29 points on 52%, 22 points on 41%, 31 points on 54%, 29 points on 60%. Literally, if Luka was just normal Luka, they won the game. And I think that contrary to popular questioning, Luka does affect winning.
That's a pretty bold take by you, Nick.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
He impacts winning, believe it or not. And yeah, it's kind of just a pretty hot take, but it's the fighting through the injury stuff. I thought was, he's just not 100%. It's such a bummer that we're not getting 100% Luka right now, but man, he's just fighting through it. And on both sides of the floor, I thought he's, defensively, some of the stuff that he was doing this past series against OKC, I'm like, I didn't know that he could get to that level while he's hurt. And it's like, still not on a Jones Jr. or Washington level, but still it's passable. He's not getting blown past, some of those possessions with Harden and those guys in the first round. Like, I was getting worried then, but it feels like, is it getting a little better as he goes along? I don't know. The knee.
Last 2 games, he shot the ball really well. So you're like, and he got 10 rebounds in both of them. He got 15, 12, 10, and 10 rebounds in the last 4 games. So I don't know. Something's working.
Yeah. And, just how he's playing with Kyrie, this is the highest level of basketball right now. This is playoffs. Yeah. This is do or die. This is, what you play for. And yet we're in the fourth quarter the other night, and the league's leading scorer is on the left wing. And he's like, go to work, Kyrie. And just for him to have another guy on the team with him that he trusts and that he believes in, and that he's like, all right, I don't have to have the ball every single possession at the end of the game. I thought it shows a lot of growth from him. We see, I don't want to talk about the officiating game 6. It's a whole whatever.
Oh,
but
brothers,
where art thou? And but the whole, they must have like just pumped that narrative into the whole broadcast for game 5, because that feels like everybody was going into it talking about it like Luka's going to focus on the game tonight and not the referees. And no, he did, and it worked out, and and all of that. But I thought he showed some maturity stuff with the refs and stuff, and honestly, he held it in better in game 6 than I ever would have.
Have you seen the clip where Dirk like kind of yells at him as he's running down the court in game 6?
No, I haven't seen it.
There's a clip where Luka, I can't remember the exact play, but Luka starts complaining to the refs, and Dirk like yells something to him on the way back, and people are pointing out that Luka didn't really complain after that after that moment. So I'm gonna give Dirk some credit for that too. But yeah, when he started focusing on basketball and started focusing on what he could control, and didn't get the turnovers that were killing him in game 4 and killing him at times in game 1, the Mavs found ways to win games, and Luka just. Man, he fighting through those injuries. I think is huge because a lot of guys get credit for it, and Luka, it's almost like used against him. Oh, SGA's outplaying him in this series. Okay, well, we're not handicapping it because he's handicapped in a way. That his knee is sprained. He was on the injury report every single game. The Thunder didn't have a player on the injury report any single game in this. Saw some Thunder fans saying like, "Oh, the Mavs should have won this." Not the case in any way, shape, or form. In this, they were number 1 in the West, 57 wins, number 2 MVP, coach of the year. They had a top 5 offensive defense. They were favored entering the series on FanDuel, and the Thunder had 0 players on the injury report the whole way, and the Mavs had their star player on the injury report every single game of this.
About to go into a Minnesota series too without Maxey and Luka on the injury report, but anyway,
let's hope so. Let's hope they're coming off. But yeah, I think making it work with Kyrie is another reason for Luka. Do you have any more reasons why the Mavs are back where they are?
Derrick Jones Jr.
Yes.
I don't think they win the Clipper series or the OK series without Derrick Jones Jr. You know what? I go back to, and I've referenced it on my show. I've referenced on multiple streams now in the studio, is media day. You and I are sitting with Derrick Jones Jr. and we look at him and we ask him, "Hey, what do you see your role is going to be this year?" And he looks at us and he goes, "I'm going to guard the other team's best player."
Yeah, he did.
This was before we knew any type of role for him at all. Like, this is before any preseason games. Omax comes out and like starts some preseason games. I thought Omax was going to have a little bit bigger role, and I didn't know what Jones Jr.'s role is going to be. I'm like, into the bench guy. Like, he's just that man.
He was coming off a Bulls team that was not that good, and he played 14 minutes a game for them. And we were like, okay, is he a rotation player? Like, what is he? And yeah, we had no idea what to expect.
Yeah, but we were like, all right, cool. You're filling out the roster with wings.
Yeah, great.
You never have enough of wings, And I'm like, did he know something? And I remember thinking, I'm like, all right, this guy's just like, yeah, shout out to him. He's being confident that he's going to be the guy. And man, he's been the guy. Like, and in these playoffs, he's guarding SGA. He's guarding James Harden. He's about to guard Anthony Edwards. And I mean, even like some of his shooting stuff, I think he shot 36% or 35 and then 36% this past series. You look at, he had 22 points against OKC there in game 6. Some of the, I've been blown away by him. Every great team, you got to have a role player that outperforms what they're, you look at Minnesota and you look at what Naz Reid gives them. It's just what a steal of a contract. And I think Naz Reid is a really good basketball player. And it's like, in a different level, you look at a Derrick Jones Jr. for a vet minimum deal. Like, I don't know who else is getting production out of a vet man than what they're getting out of Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick Jones Jr. didn't even qualify for all defense because he didn't play enough games of 20 minutes or more during the season. He only played 48 games of 20 minutes or more. So like Brad Townsend pointed this out at the Dallas Morning News that tried to go vote for Derrick Jones Jr. for second team all defense, and he couldn't because he wasn't qualified for it. So like even the Mavs didn't necessarily know what they had throughout the regular season necessarily, and in this playoffs, and especially the last half of the season there, they really figured out what they were. PJ I think helps make the defense work, but I think Derrick Jones Jr. makes it effective with him. Like those two together reminds you of the Dorian Finney-Smith Reggie Bullock combo, but like they're better in some ways. Derrick Jones Jr. is longer and can jump higher and get bigger rebounds and finish stuff around the rim and get like weird jumpers and floaters and things in the lane. He was finishing plays off of traps that Luka was getting trapped on 2 defenders. Derrick Jones Jr. was breaking the trap, hitting some floaters or hitting a lob. So he can do that. And then what PJ has done, we already kind of talked about that. But these 2 wings the Mavs are not where they are without these 2 wings. Absolutely.
No. And he's given Dwight kind of a run for his money with getting hit in the face. I mean, it feels like it's every game that he's just like holding his face, like going down the floor. And like, no, please don't get hurt. But yeah, I mean, I had Derrick Jones Jr. I had Derek Lively. You mentioned his plus minus. I mean, just what he outplayed Gafford this past series, and they had to have him on the floor.
He outplayed him again.
Yeah, and I'm fascinated to see how some of this Minnesota matchups and their bigs, play out. But
the Minnesota thing is wild. I'm going to talk about this in the preview, but this is a full circle moment for Lively, where you started in Abu Dhabi against the Timberwolves, where Rudy Gobert dunked on him, and he got his like welcome to the league moment basically. And now you're bringing it back full circle to where, all right, now you're going to play this team again. And both these teams are, the Timberwolves are basically the same, but a little different. They're probably more effective than they were at the beginning, and the Mavs are completely different than what they were then. But quick thoughts about this series? Any predictions? Did they let you do that over there?
Yes, yeah, we do predictions.
Do you ever not pick the Mavs? Like, does anybody, anytime you guys have done this, do you ever not pick the Mavs?
I'll say this is the most worried. I'm more worried about this series than I was last series. This is the toughest matchup yet. It's not just because it's the 3rd round. I think going into the playoffs, if you're looking at on paper and you're saying who's the worst matchup for Dallas, I would pick Minnesota. All the size, they have the perimeter defenders and Jaden McDaniels, and you look at Anthony Edwards, obviously the bigs. And so it's tough. I mean, I think it's a long series. I'll say Dallas in 7, but I'm not as confident in it. I was pretty adamant, like, hey, Dallas in 7 against OKC. They can get this. They can get it against Minnesota, but it's just a whole different ball game against those guys. So much size. It's like OKC. I said on the show, it's like OKC is like Bruce Banner, and then Minnesota is like the Hulk. Like it's like them kind of just like supercharged. There's like bigger. Yeah, it's like Anthony Edwards is bigger, stronger. Jaden McDaniels is totally different defender than Dort. 6'10", lanky guy. Dort, short, stocky, can't get around screens. And then you got the 2 bigs, and just their number 1 defense in the league for a reason. So yeah, Luka has to outplay Anthony Edwards this series. Like that, I think that has to be the story of this series, that Luka comes out of this as, hey guys, reminder, I should have been MVP. And he outplays Ant and leads it to the finals. That's what has to happen, I think.
So wait, he didn't get first in MVP. Luka finished. Remind me, Luka finished
3rd. Yeah.
Okay, so the number 1 guy that finished in MVP, where did he end up?
He just lost. He just got put out. Yeah.
Didn't win. Okay, so then the second guy, where did he end up?
I think it's SGA. He lost too over the weekend, so he's out.
He just lost to them. Okay, he just lost to the Mavs, right?
Yeah.
The 4th guy then. Who's the 4th guy?
Well, Giannis didn't play, but his team got eliminated. So they're not there, and it sucks for him, but he's out of the playoffs. Yeah.
Stuff break. And did they do 5th? Is there a 5th guy?
They did do 5th spot, and that was Jalen Brunson, and tough, hand injury, but the Knicks got beat today in Game 7 yesterday against the Pacers. So he's out of the playoffs too.
So like Luka's the last one left.
Luka's the last MVP finalist in the playoffs. It's pretty crazy. So I guess that he impacts winning.
Does he? Is he? He's good, I guess. I guess he's pretty good. Go check out Mavsland on the Mavs YouTube channel. Check back here.
Welcome to Mavsland. Get the show right, Nick. Come on.
What did I call it?
You just called it Mavsland.
That's what it's short.
Welcome to Mavsland. every Monday morning. There you go. YouTube.
Do you guys let it ride over there?
No, I guess I could, but
No, you can't. You can't steal the let it ride.
I can't. No, I can't do let it ride. I said boom a few weeks ago, and then I said boom, and I go, I'm sorry, I can't say that.
I still say peace. Actually, I don't say peace out. I let you say it.
Peace out. Aw.
I have you on the soundboard, so you're on every episode still. I just wanted you to know that.
Also, we didn't even say this. I'm going against my nemesis.
Oh, how do we not talk about this? Your nemesis is back. This is from like 5 years ago, isn't it?
Yes.
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Explain your nemesis.
All right, so basically, I don't even know what team he was on back then. I guess the Spurs.
Got to be Grizzlies, right? Or was it?
It could have been Grizzlies. I don't know. Whatever. He's been on a million teams, and he's in Dallas, and he flops really hard. All right, just a stupid flop.
A really bad one.
So I tweet out a video of it, and I was like, basically saying like, "Wow, look at this flop from Kyle Anderson." Well, Kyle Anderson sees it post game and quote tweets it, and it was an incredible interaction because then he's like, "There's a difference between flopping and selling. My dad taught me how to sell calls and blah 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 and all this stuff." And it's just like, okay, come on. So now he's my nemesis. I'm like, don't get out of here for this crap.
And he's been known as your nemesis ever since. Which I just
Ever since. I mean, he barely plays, but I mean, he does play some, I guess. But
there you go, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
peace out.
Boom.
Peace out.
That's the fake Isaac. Now the real one.
AI.
Don't fall